And we'll also pay Shraddhanjali to Surya Natarajanji, Amma, who was so regular in my face-to-face sessions. We'll pay Shraddhanjali to these two people. Uh, the subject will be our Vedantic discussion alone. We will complete our chapter 9 in the coming next week. So, I'm going to start with the Ganesha prayer today. The prayer was taught to me by Sri Swami AtmatriptAnanda ji. Very musically sung. I'll be singing this prayer for you. It'll be available once recorded. You can learn to sing in that tune. Very simple prayer, very beautiful words, sung in three verses sung in three different tunes. Ajam nirvikalpam nirakaramekam nijanandamanandamadvaita purnam param nirgunam nirvishesham niriham parabrahmarupam ganesham bhajema parabrahmarupam ganesham bhajema गुणातीतमानं चिदानन्दरूपं चिदाभासकं सर्वगं ज्ञानगम्यं मुनिध्येयमाकाशरूपं परेशं परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम जगत्कारणं कारणज्ञानगम्यं सुरादिं सुखादिं गणेशं गुणेशं जगद्व्यापिनं विश्ववन्द्यं सुरेशं परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम गणेशं भजेम. This will be available in our YouTube link. You can learn the song and sing. We'll next chant Dakshinamurti Stotram. This Dakshinamurti Stotram was taught to me by Sri Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji, reinforced by Sri Swami AtmatriptAnanda ji. They dwelt on the correctness of the enunciation and the Sandhi Vichhed. You will never find mistakes in the way the teachers taught us. Okay. So let's chant Dakshinamurti Stotram. Maunavyakhya prakadita parabrahma tattvam yuvanam Varsishtante vasadrishiganaihi avritam brahmanishthaihi Acharyendram karakalita chinmudram anandarupam Swatmaramam muditavadanam dakshinamurtimire Patapitapi samipe bhumi bhage nishannam Sakala munijananam jnanadataramarat Tribhuvana gurumisham dakshinamurti devam Janana marana dukkha cheda daksham namami Chitram vadataror mule vriddha sishya gurur yuva Gurostu maunam vyakhyanam shishyastu chinna samshaya Nidhaye sarva vidhyanam vishaje bhavaroginam Gurave sarva lokanam dakshina murtaye namaha Om Namah Pranabarthaya Shuddhagyanaika Murtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Sutram proper. Vishwam Darpana Dishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bahirivod Yatha Nidraya Yas Sakshat Kurute Prabodha Samaye Swatmanameva Dvayam Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Bijasyantarivankuro Jagadidam Prang Nirvikalpam Punaha Maya Kalpita Deshakala Kalana Vaichitra Chitrikritam Maya Viva Vijrimbayatyapi Mahayogi Vayasvechaya Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Yasyaiva Sfuranam Sadatmakam Asatkalpartakam Bhasate Sakshat Tattvamasiti Veda Vachasa Yo Bodhayatyashritan Yas Sakshat Karanat Bhavenna Punaravrittir Bhavambho Nidhau Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Nana Chitragato Stita Mahadipa Prabha Bhaswaram Jnanam yasya tu chakshuradikarnadvara bahispandate janamiti tameva bhantamanubhate tat samastam jagat tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye deham pranamapindriyanyapi chalan buddhim cha shunyam viduhu Sri balan dhajadopamastvahamitti bhranta vrisham vadinah Maya Shakti Vilasa Kalpita Mahavyamoha Samharine Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshina Murtaye Rahu Grasta Divakarendu Sadrusho Maya Samachhadanat Sanmatra Karanopasamharanato Yobhutsu Shastaf Puman Pragaswap Samiti Prabodha Samaye Yaf Pratyabhigyayate Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshina Murtaye Balyadishvapi Jagradadishu Tatha Sarva Swavastha Svapi Vyavritta Svanuvartamana Mahamityanta Sfurantam Sadha Swatmanam Prakati Karoti Bhajatam Yo Mudraya Bhadraya Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshina Murtaye Vishwam Pashyati Karya Karanataya Swaswami Sambandhatah Shishyacharya Tathaiva Pitruputradhyatmana Bhedatah Swapne Jagradivaya Esha Purusho Maya Paribhramitah Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshina Murtaye Bhurambhansya Nalonilombaram Aharnatho Himam Shufpuman Ityabhati Characharatmakamidam Yasyaiva Murtyashtakam Nanyat Kinchana Vidyate Vimrshatam Yasmat Parasmat Vibhoho Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshina Murtaye Sarvatmatvamiti Sfutikritamidam Yasmadamushminstave Tenasya Shravanat Tadarthamananat Dhyanatcha Sankirtanat Sarvatmatva Mahavibhuti Sahitam Syadishwaratvam Swatah Siddhye Tatpunarashtada Parinatam Cha Aishwaryam Abhyahatam. The blessings of our Guru Parampara. I'll share some thoughts with you. These thoughts are not individual thoughts. They come from the tradition. That's how the knowledge is unfolded to us. All we need is clarity. Vedanta doesn't promise you salvation. There is no salvation promised. That is, moksha, which is translated as salvation in very many places, is perhaps a very poor translation which confuses the person who listens to it. Moksha is not an event. It is not an object. It is not a place. It is not a label. It certainly is not a new relationship. There is no going. There is no coming. There is no becoming, quite simply because any of the steps which we have talked about, if it's an event, it has to come into an end. If it's an experience, it has to come to an end. If it's an object, it will, atrophy will take care of the object. If it's a relationship, it has to end someday. If it's a label, it'll lose its validity after some time. The very package which seeks all this is finite. This body, mind, sense complex itself is finite. The person who had a conference call till 10:30 next morning does not wake up. That is the unstable platform. What kind of permanence are you seeking? Therefore, moksha is not salvation. Vedanta doesn't promise you salvation. Vedanta has a vision. And in that vision, you are already free. That you is universal. You will not become free. You will not experience freedom. You will not get into something and discover and become free. You are free, period. You have to discover that free being. The story is, there was a young prince, because of some the palace intrigues and conspiracies, the ruling king and the queen were killed. The nurse fled with the child and left the child in the care of a tribe. Much later, about 17, 18, 19, 20 years later, 2 decades later, one of the loyal ministers went in search of this child, knowing fully well that the child has not perished. They found the child. Now tell me, what has this child got to do to become the prince? He is already the prince. He doesn't have to become the prince. He is the prince. Period. You are already free. But then what has the priest got to do? The prince got to do? The prince has to learn to live like a prince. He has been living on treetops, wearing barks, eating anything and everything, perhaps unwashed in all these 20 years, living like an animal. He has to learn to refine himself and live like the prince. Vedanta has a vision. In its vision, you are free. When it says you are free, Vedanta says there is no cause for dukkha. And what is your nature? Your nature is that of Satyam. Satyam means truth. Truth, not just spoken truth. That which exists at all points of time. A time itself exists in Satyam. There is a verse in chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita, verse number 16. Na sato vidyate bhava, na bhavo vidyate satah, ubhayorapi drishtontah, tvanayor tattvadarshibhihi. There was never absence of the Satvastu. They're all subtle truths. The Satvastu was never absent. The Asatvastu never existed. So you are the Satvastu. The Atma was never absent. And the pseudo Atma that has taken over never existed. The Atma was never absent. What you take at absent as Atma never existed. Ubhayorapi drishtontaha tvanayor tattva darshibhihi. You'll have to learn to analyze the truth and zero in on the Satvastu. The Satvastu is not this BMS complex, body, mind, sense complex. The Satvastu is, when we do chapter 13, we will see Kshetrajnaha, one who knows the Kshetra. Kshetra is the equipment, the field. The one who knows the Kshetra is the Kshetrajnaha, one who knows. So a little more. We have studied this all number of times. How many years? Last 20, 30 years we've studied. Our group has studied. You all know it. I'll just go take it through once more so that it gets reinforced. There are, when we talk about the body, mind, sense complex, there are four important features as though. Four important factors as though. You don't look for four factors. First is Sthula Sharira, gross physical body. It is called gross body, Sthula Sharira. Then you have what is called Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body. It's something like the application software in this hardware. Then you have the Karana Sharira, causal body, not casual body, causal body. It is the operating system kind of. These three together has the capacity to reflect Chaitanyam. So the original Chaitanyam is reflected on this BMS, body, mind, sense complex, and assumes an identity called Jiva. And the Jiva, the individual, is now looking at the world as an individual and finds the Jagat, the world, too huge to comprehend. Therefore, and then looking through the limited body, the world is huge. Fact. When look through the prism of the body, you find the world huge. And this body small. But the conclusion that I am insignificant, I am small, compared to that and feeling limited is a false conclusion. You see the sunrise, you see the sunset. That phenomenon that you see is resolved in the knowledge that the sun never rises or sets. You see the eclipse, but it's resolved in the knowledge that there is nothing called eclipse. It's a visual phenomenon. The visual phenomena does not negate the truth. The truth does not dismiss what you see. It only says the reality behind what you see is to be understood. So, this limited body in itself has a problem. It's limited. The world has its features. To a conclusion, I am limited is a conclusion. It is called avichara siddha, a conclusion which you have not examined properly. And this will not be understood if you go on treetops and rooftops and talk. This has to be discerned. What has to be discerned? That in spite of whatever I do, whether it is becoming or getting a new title, new places, new objects, more wealth, is not going to remove this sense of insignificance from me, has to be discerned by oneself and not told from rooftops. The more I tell you, you will say, this fellow has nothing. It has to be discerned. That's why the expression uses pariksha lokan. One has to discern it and discover for yourself that all that I achieve is not going to make me feel significant. I will remain insignificant because I was never insignificant in the first place. Careful. I was never insignificant in the first place. So whatever I do to remove the insignificance is not going to work, because Vedanta comes and tells me you are a significant being. I say, wow. He says, you are the significant being. And goes further and delivers a powerful punch. He says, you are the only significant being. You are free from the sense of smallness, from the sense of insignificance that you have imposed on yourself. And you have to discern it and get out of the problem yourself. Then what the blessed thing will the Guru do? And what will Shastra do? He says that you have a fundamental problem is highlighted by the Shastras when you are ready to inquire. It not only says you have a problem, it also says this is the solution. And the Shastra is brought to you by the Shastrajnaha, one who knows the Shastra, one who knows the Shastra, one who knows to unfold, unlock the subtle nuances that are there in the Shastras. It is to be understood. The problem is not of achievement, the problem is that of ignorance. And ignorance has only one solution, knowledge. And knowledge has to take place in the buddhi. The buddhi has to be prepared to get this knowledge. Therefore, the Shastras have given you a lifestyle. Not lifestyle, a lifestyle, two lifestyles. Jnana yogena sankhyanam, karma yogena yoginam. You can adopt a lifestyle for getting preparing the mind and getting the knowledge to the exclusion of all other activities. That is called a sannyasi lifestyle. You can prepare your mind for receiving this jnana in and through all your other activities. That is called a grahastha lifestyle. Lokesmin dvidha nishta pura prokta mayanagha jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. So you can adopt two lifestyles. You don't choose, Guru chooses. You don't decide to be a sannyasi. Okay? You don't decide to be a grahastha. Guru says you are fit for a sannyasa lifestyle. You are fit for a grahastha lifestyle. That's a very important role that a guru plays in our life. And thereafter, the life is committed to preparing the buddhi for this jnanam. The human pursuits are divided into four: artha, kama, dharma, moksha. In fact, the Shastras come and tell you there is only one pursuit, and that is moksha. What is moksha? You want to be free. You want to be free from being a wanting person. It's to be understood. I am a wanting person. I am not comfortable being a wanting person. I want to be free from being a wanting person. He said, you have to understand this. And the only way is you have to realize, it's not a realize, you have to know that you are wanting to be different because you have not seen your swarupa at all. You don't know your nature. You don't know your significant nature. And that significant nature of yours will be revealed to you by the Shastra. The Guru will reveal the truth to you using the Shastra Prakriya. And for that, I need a prepared mind. The prepared mind, all we have studied so far, is called preparatory sadhana. That's called sadhana. What's the preparation? You go through 2 steps of karma yoga, where the first step of karma yoga is pursuing what you want in life, pursuing what you like in life, as long as it is aligned to dharma, aligned to what is proper. Side by side, you recognize the contribution of Ishvara, what has been given to you, how fortunate you are. It gives you a sense of humility in your achievement. Humility, first preparation. Then we expand, we go to stage 2 of Karma Yoga, where from Sakama Karma, you go to Nishkama Karma. Nishkama Karma is from selfish activities maturing into selfless activities. When you do activities in general to benefit a lot of people, you also get benefited. There is expansion of the mind. Then you move to the third step, Upasana. You see a world, inquiring into the nature of the world, seeing Ishvara's presence, not in the world, but as the world manifested. So you start with Saguna, Ishvara Upasana, mature into Nirguna, Vishwarupa Ishvara Upasana, growth to third and fourth level. And the fifth level, Jnana Yoga, you are taught and you own up the fact that you are that Chaitanya Swarupam, not different from Ishvara. One more nice story. There is a wave. Every day it rises about 300 to 400 meters from the shore, comes and dashes on the floor and dies. This is the lot of the wave. So one wave asks the question, is this what the purpose of life? I start 400 meters away. On the way, I acquire this. I acquire a lot of strength, end my life on the shore, and start again somewhere. Then there is a guru wave. The guru wave comes and tells you, hey, buddy, you are not wave. You are water. Wow! And the mighty ocean is also water. You are not the insignificant wave. You are the only significant water. The play of the waves, the tsunami, the tidal waves happen at the surface level. Whatever happens, you are water. Once you know the content, you are free from the struggle, samsara, that I have to prove a point, I have to become significant. And the dukkha and conflicts that come out of becoming are knocked out from your life. Thereafter, there is objectivity. You want artha kama? Go ahead, pursue. Make a lot of money. No problem. One, it will be aligned to dharma. Two, after my needs, I will also take care of the needs of others. साई इतना दीजिए जामे कुटुंब समाए, मैं भी भूखा ना रहूं साधु ना भूखा जाए. I have enough. A sense of abundance. Artha kama pursuit should give you a sense of abundance, not anxiety. After retirement, how will I live? After retirement, where will I live? Who will pay for my medical cost? You have make arrangements right now so that you are free from anxiety about it. And that anxiety will always be there if you look for anxiety. Frees you from anxiety. Or look to the past. I wish I had done this. I wish I had done this. I wish I had done this. I wish my father had done this for me. I wish my father-in-law had done this for me. I wish my wife had done this for me. I wish my husband had done this. Regrets, anxieties seem to be my lot. Vedanta comes and tells you, you are a free person. You are free. And that is a subject matter of knowledge. It is not available. It is not only for Indians or one particular sect or caste of Indians. It's universal knowledge. Now let's see about the infrastructure available for this knowledge. So there are Shastras. There are three foundation pillars, okay, on which the whole Shastric infrastructure is built up. The first pillar is Bhagavad Gita. The second pillar is Upanishad. The third pillar is Brahma Sutra. They are called Prasthanatraya. They have all the questions that have to be answered when it comes to life here, hereafter, wherever. All questions are answered there. You should know how to unfold and unlock. Around this infrastructure, you have a lot of other things that have come up. They are called prakaranas, meaning one particular topic would have been unfolded in great detail. Okay? The Vedas are called Shruti Grantha, heard. And Bhagavad Gita is called Smriti Grantha, remembered. So, Bhagavad Gita is like an undergraduate course, Upanishad like is a graduate course, and Brahma Sutra is like a postdoctoral research. All of us must necessarily go through an undergraduate. It doesn't matter if you go through do not go through the other two. But undergraduate course, all of us should go through along with other prakaranas. Because there is a book called Tattva Bodh which teaches you the terminology. So there are other texts. One teaches you how to do proper meditation. And these Shastras should never be studied independently. Even a scholar should not study this independently because there are a lot of contextual meanings which have to be unfolded by a person who knows and who has gone through this prakriya. A competent teacher, you should study for a length of time, systematically, regularly, not sporadically. They say in Tamil, no, once in Adi, once in Amavasya. Systematic, regular study for a period of time, for a length of time under a competent acharya. Thereafter, study never stops because after Shravana Manana, first is Shravana, then Manana. Nididhyasana is owning up to see that the knowledge becomes your knowledge. So you can do several rounds of Shravana because Shravana itself can become Nididhyasana. So the lifelong owning up process continues. The person, now there are two lifestyles, and apart from this lifestyle, this is you have taken yourself to be an insignificant being, the Jiva. Guru teaches you, not just teaches you, shows you that you are a significant being and there is no cause for worry. Once that knowledge is gained and it becomes clear to you, you are free. You are free from the effects of karma. Okay, let's quickly look at how karma works. There are three types of karmas. There is a Sanchita karma, which is a total karma bank balance. There is a Prarabdha karma, from out of that balance, one portion has fructified. And there is an Agami karma, the karma that you will accrue because of your actions today. The Prarabdha karma has given me this Jiva body, this kind of thinking. And if you have got exposure to Vedanta, understand it is a punya karma of several past janmas which have brought you into inquiry. What is the purpose of life? The purpose of life inquiry didn't start now. It must have started several janmas away. And this infrastructure complex has been provided so that you can inquire a little more deeper into it. Age doesn't matter. The discernment can start very young, like it happened in the case of a Nachiketa. It can happen to very old persons, like somebody called Ashvalayana, who had happened post retirement. It can happen to a lady like Gargi. Upanishads are full of such stories. It can happen to a warrior like Arjuna in the middle of the battlefield. They're all set to fire and he has some questions. Fundamental questions. It can happen anytime. The Shastras say, when that question happens, a teacher is available. And that is an assurance given by Ishvara. I will be available. If nobody else is there, I will come and teach. The teachers will be available. And how do you approach the teacher? With Shraddha. What is Shraddha? Not folded hands and pressing his legs. Shraddha in the Pramana. Pramana means a means of knowledge and that it will work. Again, many of these examples are taken only from teachers. You go for a sophisticated eye examination, don't you? At some point of time. So after putting you through various tests, okay, this is okay, that's okay. Finally, he'll make you sit in front of something like a cube. Yeah, with the number of letters there, written in from big size to small size. He will put some contraption here and he'll put a class there and say, is this better or is this better? Is this better or is this better? Only you can certify what you can see. Only you can say what your eyes can see. None of the sophisticated equipment can tell you whether you can see properly. That is called a pramana. Eyes alone are the means of knowledge for forms. Ears alone are the means of knowledge for sound. Shastra, as operated by the Guru, is the only means for knowing your Swarupa. This Shraddha you should have. Otherwise, Vedanta won't work. Okay? Pariksha Lokan, Karma Chitan must be done properly. This is called Purushartha Nischaya. Unless this is done properly, Vedanta won't work. If you come to Vedanta as a last resort, I have suffered a lot in life. Let's see at least whether this works. Vedanta won't work because Vedanta is knowledge. It is not some body level hormonal change. I have had a tough life so far. Let me at least try Vedanta and see it works. Sorry, it won't work. It won't work. Let me create a corpus for myself and then it will work. No, it won't work. You pursue a corpus separate. You don't pursue a corpus so that Vedanta. You say corpus is necessary. I need a little more financial well-being. I would like to work for in a corpus. That's a different ball game altogether. So preparatory sadhana is very, very essential. And in India, we have had this tradition of teachers being available to you to teach you. The Grahastha can be a teacher. The sannyasi can be a teacher. The sannyasi perhaps in a better position to teach because his personal commitments are very, very negligible. Apart from one pair of clothes and a place to stay and food once a day, he needs very little. And the system, the infrastructure was people took care of the sannyasi's needs. So he was perhaps the best position to teach you. But our Shastras say that even Grahasthas have been teachers. A lot of Grahasthas have taught. There's no harm in learning from a Grahastha as well, as long as the clarity is there. Very important. The Grahastha speaks from personal experience, not bookish scholarship. It should be personally. Karmachitan Brahmano Nirvedam Ayat. He should have developed the Vairagya, okay, to learn. Okay. Emotional maturity is necessary to align oneself to lead a life of what is proper. an emotionally mature person can teach. Now, let's say there are so many of us who are learning. What if we don't get moksha? Arjuna asks to Krishna, what if I die in this battle? Before I get moksha, before I assimilate this knowledge, let's use the word. Let's not say moksha, because once the teacher shows you you are free, you are free. The prince, once he knows he is the prince, he is free. Thereafter, he only has to adopt a lifestyle. He doesn't have to meditate to become a prince. Therefore, once I reveal to you properly, you are a Mukta Purusha, there is no problem. Only conviction and clarity take. So Arjun says, what if I die in this battle? So this knowledge remains half. Because of half education, I will be neither fit for Arthakama life nor fit for Moksha life. So what does Krishna say? What do Shastra says? He said, once you have a taste of this and have seriously pursued this, you will get an appropriate yoni. Let's go back to Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira, and the reflection. The Sthula Sharira falls. The fall of the Sthula Sharira is called death. The Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira, and the reflected consciousness travel. They travel to other lokas. And according to the Punya Papa balance in the Karana Sharira, they get an appropriate body. The Sukshma Karana Sharira and the reflected consciousness get a new body. That is called next birth or rebirth of the Sukshma Karana Sharira. Okay, the Jiva is reborn. Let's say Jiva is reborn. So now don't ask, will he be able to recognize the father-in-law from the previous Janma? Will he come to claim his balance? Hey, can you remember what lunch you had a week before? What garments you wear a week before? You'll have to look at a photo. Hey, thank God you don't remember all these things. You must have seen it in some occasional, some aberration here and there. We don't dismiss it, but that's not the norm. This equipment is not meant to recall what I was in the past. Perhaps gives me a hint here and there so that I can set my life right here. But it is not meant for me to be analyzed and see a picture of myself. But it can perhaps guide me. Or perhaps I've got this Sharira. I'm going through these problems. Because of these kind of developments in the unconscious, I can correct it. So, they go in search of another body, the Jiva. And this Jiva, minus the physical body, is called Preta Sharira. This is called a human being. Minus this, it is called a Preta Sharira. So for 13 days, we do all these rituals so that the Preta Sharira is prepared for getting a new body. How do you know the person has not or got moksha? If the person lives a grihastha life, we say if the person has got moksha, fine. But let me do these rituals so that the body is guided to an appropriate destination where they can get a new body. And once the person is exposed to Vedanta, once an exposure, you have listened to one chapter of Vedanta and you have sat through with sufficient interest, let me assure you, Vedanta will not leave. Ishvara says, I will ensure. It's like those, there are some schools in India and you have to set up Kendriya Vidyalaya setup. If you are transferred from one town to another, you get admission in the same class and that place also the same course goes on. So Vedanta assures you that if you have studied in your lifetime and for some reason you are not able to continue, then in your next birth, you will get an appropriate equipment to continue the study. So when a grahastha lays down the mortal body, we say, may the person have Satgati. Sadgati means may they be able to continue the study. So our host Prakash here and his wife Vasudha, Prakash's mother Surya Ma used to sit through every class of mine. We did it for about a few months in November, and then this COVID scared us away, and we are doing it offline now, online, and we'll maybe come back. And then the class is open. Anybody can walk in and attend my class here in Raja Annamalapura. You're welcome. Amma used to attend my classes without fail. And she used to take a lot of pain to read the verses, understand, and quietly ask me, this is not clear to me, that is not clear. This person is called a Uttama Adhikari. Uttama Adhikari means a very, very eligible person for Atma Jnana Moksha. Assuming the person has not got moksha in this janma, Amma will get an appropriate body to continue studies wherever she. And we say, may the person gain Sadgati. We never say RIP, no resting in peace. We say, may the person gain Sadgati. Now let's come to the Samadhi word we used. So and so has attained Mahasamadhi. So my teacher, Sri Swami AtmatriptAnanda, was honored with sannyasa by his teacher sometime in his early 40s, when he was about 40 years or so. And much before that, he has been teaching. He has been teaching me from the time, how much? 1985. It's 38 years since I have been learning from Pujya Swamiji. And he has been teaching. And by his knowledge, by the way he lived his life, there is no doubt whatsoever that he is a Mukta Parusha, that he has gone moksha. But the body has to live its course because it's a prarabdha sharira. Just because I get moksha and the body has to go that day means it's a problem, or it disappears means it's a problem. Imagine we are all doing a class now and one of you gets moksha, you will disappear. What will happen to your families? So there is a process. This prarabdha sharira has come into being. The prarabdha sharira has to come to an appropriate end. And then when that prarabdha sharira comes to an appropriate end, we don't use routine words like demise and things like that. Some people use very, very, what do you call, expressions like he left behind his mortal coil and things like that. I find it a little funny. We only use one word. Swami has attained Mahasamadhi. That means in the knowledge, he has always been Brahman. When the prarabdha is over, his body is dropped. It's called Videha Mukti. Okay? Thereafter, this Videha Mukti, there is no travel for Sukshma Karana Sharira at all. They get merged in the total. That is a beautiful verse. Jal mein kumbh mein jal hai, bhitar bahar pani. Once the earthen pot breaks, the waters merge. There is no rebirth for such a person. That's why we refer to it as Mahasamadhi. And there is no ritualistic cremation or burial, or there are three types of samadhis for the remaining, the physical body. There is a Jala Samadhi, there is a Bhu Samadhi, there is an Agni Samadhi. Depending upon the convenience and situation, we decided we will give Sri Swami AtmatriptAnanda a Agni Samadhi. So, the sannyasi's departure is seen as Mahasamadhi, and a Grahastha's departure is seen as appropriate sadgati. May the person gain sadgati. These are the expressions used. About the teacher and about the teaching. Vedanta is very, very individual teaching. It is a one-to-one teaching, though we have a number of people attending. That's a satsang. It's very good. But the teaching is taught the whole thing is unfolded in such a way that it appeals to each one as though the person is talking to you alone. That's how Sri Swami Dayananda used to teach us. That's how Sri AtmatriptAnanda used to teach us. He used to address thousands of people. But we had a feeling that he is addressing only me in person. The examples he gives are applicable only to me. And the beauty of such a teaching is I am validated as a person. There is no judgmental pontificating guru. Suppose I go to my teacher and say, Swamiji, this is how I have been. You would have seen in our Vedanta Shastra, Sadurachara api. Suppose I have lived a dushta api. Suppose I have lived a bad. I have not lived a very, what do you call, a very accomplished kind of life. Not lived a life that is can be talked about greatly. The Guru validates. He said, Hota, it happens. But at least now you have started inquiring. Your chances are it will work. That is validation. You are never condemned. There is no condemned. There is no, only if you are condemned, there is salvation. There is no condemnation at all. Yes, the teachers tell you, if you have not lived a life of dharma, aligned to dharma, they say the consequences will pursue you. It will spoil your clarity when it comes to Vedanta. If you think acquiring so much money is going to give you security, however much I tell you that it is not permanent security, you will still pursue money. If you think a relationship is going to give you stability, you will pursue relationship, however much you know it is finite. Because it is not Pariksha Lokan yet. All that is validated. It's not said the pursuing this is wrong path. It says it's not, it is validated because, yes, you are not mature enough. Perhaps you will mature in time. And for maturity, a lot of prayers are recommended. See, Swami AtmatriptAnanda taught us like that. Few of us, handful of the few, two of the group have already become sannyasins, and they themselves are accomplished teachers in Coimbatore ashram. Some of us, there's one person in Germany, I'm here, and there are a number of students in Kolkata and rest of the world who learned under Swamiji. They ask a question, will you miss the Swami? Yes, I will miss Swamiji's physical presence. Because Swamiji was available on phone. I had to call or send a message, Bole Shankar, and the response will come. Now the response will not come in person. But teaching will be recalled. The teaching will never be. The Swami's bond with you and the family becomes so strong. I was just talking a little while ago to one of the students we have been studying together for 30 years now. The person who was studying with me was in her teens when she started studying. Now she's a mother of a young professional, grown-up person. And the teaching has been so strong and so intact that we have been, the bond of, is very strong. And we all recalled how we used to refer to Swamiji. Hi, Swamiji. That's how we used to talk to Swamiji. A certain personal closeness also develops with Swami. Another beautiful thing one has to remember. The Guru never leaves you unprepared. Guru never leaves. That's the first thing. The mortal body, the physical body, the physical presence will not leave you till you are prepared. Will never leave you half cooked. So when Swamiji chose to leave, 19th of December 2023, last week it was. I personally, there's a shock. It's very, very severe. But the thought that follows that thought is, Swamiji's teaching will never leave you. He's physically left you after preparing you well. You are well prepared. Prepared for what? Prepared to continue the study, reinforce one study by a process of nididhyasana. Nididhyasana is a process of owning up. How is nididhyasana done? By repeated shravanam, also by thought pravachana, by sharing thoughts with other people who are in the process of gaining the knowledge. So when I share thoughts with you, it is not teaching, it is more of reinforcement of the teaching that my own Guru gave me. We are blessed to be born in this parampara, continue in this parampara. And this, having got this, Vedanta's vision will never. In our lifetime, we should be able to say, I am Mukta Purusha. Only you can say that. And if it's for some reason we are not able to get it, rest assured, Sadgati, next Janma, you will get it. That's the assurance by Krishna. That's the assurance by the Parampara. So we use this opportunity. I started off with the song sung by Swami, the AtmatriptAnanda Ajam Nirvikalpam Dakshinamurti Stotra. We will do the Dhyana Shloka Shanti Mantra. Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Guru Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalinim Desho Yam Shobharahitah Brahmana Santo Nirbhaya Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santo Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om Sadgurunath Maharaj की जय हो स्वामी दयानंद महाराज की जय हो सब संतों की जय हो पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय हो बजरंग बली की जय हो. We will continue our study from next Friday. We will complete chapter 9 of the Bhagavad Gita and continue. Morning meditation continues. Welcome. Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you very much.